What is going on, YouTube? This is MOTOSARGE signing in, and in today's video I'm going to go over my handlebar setup on my 2016 Dyna Fat Bob. So let's roll the intro and get on with today's video. Alright, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to another video. If you are new to the channel, I bring you along with me as I merge my passions for photography and motorcycles. So if you like anything photography or motorcycle related, please click that like icon, hit that subscribe button, and while we're at it, ring that bell notification to get email alerts when I upload some new content. In today's video, I'm going to discuss my handlebar setup because I get a lot of questions as far as what kind of bars I'm running, the risers I got, where I got my cables from, and how I like the setup. You know, on the 2016 Dyna Fat Bob, it came with 4-inch risers and drag bars. So this is a different look as opposed to what people are used to seeing. So I think it's kind of unique, and I really appreciate what this bike has turned out to be. However, it has been a long few weeks. We have had several kids get sick at the house, so I haven't been able to hop on the bike as much as I have wanted. Over this past weekend, I was able to hit a ride with my wife, and we went to downtown Columbus just to grab a quick bite to eat. Thanks for my mother-in-law to come into town and kind of let us get away for a few hours. But before I share with you this handlebar setup, I'm gonna do a quick rip up this mountain here towards Pine Mountain and enjoy the ride a bit, kick on some tunes, and I will catch you when I get to the top of the mountain and we'll discuss the handlebar setup. Now that I kind of woke up a bit, I've been wanting to come up this way since we moved down here. Every time I tend to hit this road, we're out on the minivan and we're coming back down the hill the opposite direction. And I've been wanting to come up here and just kind of twist the throttle a bit, get the adrenaline pumping, and really enjoy those twisties back there. Of course, you know, I saw I got hemmed up or stuck up behind a tractor, but you know, on these backcountry roads, you're able to kind of get around real quick and get about your ride. But yeah, so in today's video, I really wanted to share this handlebar setup, right? I mean, it's something that, which way are we gonna go? Let's go right. Yeah, it's something that since I put on the bike, I get more questions on my handlebar setup than I do anything else. I mean, so I think it's something that we all look into when we buy a Harley Davidson. We all want to put on a certain type of bar, but it's hard to kind of, you know, pull the trigger because we don't know how high to go, how wide to go, the diameter of the overall thickness of the bars, what risers, cables, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot that goes into getting a new handlebar setup on your motorcycle and having it right for you than it is just to hop online and buy an exhaust or buy some tires or buy some rear shocks or some other aftermarket parts. I think the handlebars is the most in-depth purchase and upgrade that we are to do on our Harleys. Now, what I ended up going with is when I first started looking at bars, I really wanted, you know, the conventional style apes, but I like the right degree or 90-degree angles on the handlebars. Carlini makes a few out there that are super sick, but being a father of 5, those are just slightly outside of my budget. So I had to kind of do a lot more research and find different sets of bars that kind of mimic the Carlinis but don't have the price tag that the Carlinis do. Now we're only talking about a couple $100–300 difference, but when you're looking at the overall setup of the handlebars and you're getting into $1,300 after everything's said and done, another $300 kind of hurts a little bit. So I found these bars on Revzilla.com. Everything I mentioned in today's video, I'm going to go ahead and throw the links below in the description. So if you guys want to go ahead and throw these bars on there with the risers and everything like that, feel free to do so. I would just love to see a picture of what your bike looks like with this setup. But these bars are the Todds Cycle Strip Apes. Now I went with the 1.5" diameter of the bars themselves and also a 14-inch rise. Now the reason why I went with the thicker bars is because the front end of the fat bob, in my opinion, is pretty beefy, pretty wide. I didn't want no narrow bars on there because I think it just wouldn't have went with the overall lines of the motorcycle. Now in doing so, because they're 1.5" diameter bars, I had to go and get new risers. Now that was the other thing too. Let me make sure we're not going to get blindsided by a car. That was the other thing that was kind of difficult to put together, because some of the risers, I mean, they look great, but they don't accept that 1.5" because these don't step down. They're all the way through 1.5" in diameter. I was able to find these, the Drag Specialty. They're only an 1.5" riser because I didn't want that big gap between the triple tree and the bottom of the handlebars. I wanted it to keep it real narrow, kind of keep the lines from the forks all the way up through. So I think that kind of helped with the look of these bars on the bike. Now because I went with the 1.5" diameter handlebars and I got the 1-inch risers, really I'm looking at a 15.5" rise from the triple tree to where my hands sit. It puts my bars, I'm 5'10", it puts my hands about shoulder width. Now depending on how I'm riding, if I'm trying to stretch out, lay back, or if I'm hitting corners like before and I'm kind of leaning forward, it will change the position of my hands as well. That looks like a pretty cool restaurant we'll have to probably try to check out. But I mean, I'm pretty happy with where these set up. Now in some of the pictures, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, please go over on Instagram, check me out. It's MOTOSARGE over there as well. You can see in some of my pictures I do have these bars slanted forward pretty much as I can, because I just don't like the way that if they follow the lines of the forks, it tends to sit me back more, and I really like to have that aggressive stance or seating position on my bike, because some of the rides I like to do, although it doesn't look like it's a Dyna, I do like to get out here and rip it up on these streets. So kind of having that more aggressive posture and into the bike where I can kind of be nimble and get around is what I am about. Now as far as the cables I finally gave up and just went ahead and took my bike into Harley Davidson, said, hey, here's my risers, here's my bars, what can I do as far as cable setup? And what they told me is these are the black steel braided lines from Harley Davidson. They did cost me a little bit more than I anticipated, but doing everything online and trying to find cables and doing it myself, I was kind of, I ain't gonna lie, I was intimidated because I didn't want to seize up my bike or do something that would cost me a lot more in the long run, because I am not your electrical guru. I'm not really your hands-on type mechanic. So some of the stuff I do, why is that car flashing their high beams? Some of the things I do, I mean, are real bolt-on, and this is not bolt-on. This is really in-depth. You got to drop the tank and do all that other stuff to get everything wired up and through here. So I wasn't about to do that myself. So I went and did these with the black steel braided lines with Harley, and because I bought the Harley Davidson, that's probably why they were flashing their lights. Appreciate it, guys. Make sure I'm not going to get pulled over. Yeah, I'm good. So the steel braided lines from Harley Davidson, I let them go ahead and install it. So that's probably why I was looking at 13. I think I was like 1,400 bucks at the end of everything, between the bars, the risers, the cables, and the install. So in my opinion, for this, wasn't the worst case scenario. The one thing I do wish I did do when I did the whole handlebar setup was redid the grips and my mirrors. I mean, if you watch John Maxwell, the Harley tech, he mentions, I mean, if you're going to do the bars, you might as well do everything, right? Because it makes no point to get everything disassembled, taken down, and then you're putting on the same grips that I did and the stock mirrors, and then in a few months you're wanting to put new grips and new mirrors on there, and you're having to kind of get back into the handlebars again. So I do wish I did do that, but my main goal at that time was to get away from the 4-inch riser with the drag bars. It wasn't the look I was going for. I really wanted to throw some white walls. I had the rear end slammed, so I mean, I was just this piece away from kind of my bike coming together. Now there's still some other parts that I do want to put on here, but I will leave that to another video. I hope this kind of gave you an idea of what you could do on your bike when it comes to the handlebars. If you've been, you know, commenting on some of my pictures, my videos, and you've been asking some about the handlebar setup, I hope this does help you make the decision moving forward. A lot of people are kind of, you know, questioning, hey, how high should I go? I had a good friend of mine tell me, sit on your bike, close your eyes, and hold the broomstick up, and where you are comfortable, have, you know, your wife or your friend or somebody measure how high those bars are, and that will give you a general idea as far as what size rise to get as far as your handlebars go. Did I do that? No, I just kind of estimated how high to go, and if it was too high, it was too high. If it was too low, it was too low. I just kind of rolled the dice, and luckily it played out just fine. So if you like today's video, please don't forget to hit that like icon, click that subscribe button, and while you're at it, ring that bell notification to get email alerts when I upload some new content. Like always, guys, I really appreciate you tuning in to another video, and this is MOTOSARGE signing out.
Hard work, I earn my pay. Hard work.